The story of Jesus Christ is one of the most widely known and discussed narratives in the world. His birth, teachings, crucifixion, and resurrection form the core of Christianity. However, one part of his life remains a mystery: the so-called missing years. These are the years between his childhood and the beginning of his ministry, often referred to as the silent years. While the New Testament provides very little information about these years, there is an ancient scripture from Ethiopia that offers a shocking revelation. In this video, we're going to dive into the mystery of Jesus' missing years and explore the secrets hidden in Ethiopia's Bible. Every Christian knows the basics of Jesus' life: born in Bethlehem, raised in Nazareth, and later starting his ministry at around 30 years old. But what happened in the intervening years? Why does the Bible remain silent about these formative years? Some scholars suggest that these years were uneventful. Jesus may have lived a quiet, unassuming life, learning carpentry from his father and living in obscurity. Others, however, have speculated that these years were full of extraordinary events, trips to distant lands, mystical experiences, and even deeper spiritual awakenings. Many have wondered, why did the Bible avoid telling us about these years? The lack of information has led to all kinds of theories, but the most intriguing one comes from a surprising source: Ethiopia's ancient Bible. Ethiopia's Christianity has a long and rich history. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church claims to have one of the oldest Christian traditions, with their version of the Bible being much older than most Western manuscripts. The Ethiopian Bible includes books and texts that are absent from the standard Christian canon, and many of these texts contain stories and teachings that were not included in other Bibles. Among these texts, there is one book in particular that has garnered interest for its portrayal of Jesus' missing years: the Book of the Childhood of Jesus Christ. This ancient manuscript, part of the larger collection of Ethiopian scriptures, provides a glimpse into Jesus' early life that the canonical Gospels don't. And the story it tells is nothing short of shocking. According to the Ethiopian scriptures, Jesus' early life was far from ordinary. Rather than staying in Nazareth, as the Gospels suggest, Jesus traveled far and wide. One of the most striking parts of this narrative is his journey to India. Yes, you read that correctly. The Ethiopian Bible suggests that Jesus traveled eastward to the land we now call India. This claim is rooted in an ancient manuscript known as the Life of Saint Isa, found in the Himalayan regions of Tibet and India. It is said that Jesus lived in India during his lost years, where he studied with spiritual masters and learned about Eastern philosophies, including meditation and yoga. This is a radical departure from the traditional Christian narrative, which claims that Jesus lived a quiet life in Nazareth until he began his ministry. The Ethiopian texts reveal that during his time in India, Jesus studied under a group of enlightened masters, learning not only Jewish mysticism but also the ancient teachings of Buddhism and Hinduism. The texts describe him as a great teacher, one who imparted wisdom about peace, love, and the importance of compassion. Some scholars believe that this period influenced Jesus' later teachings, particularly his focus on loving one's enemies, turning the other cheek, and the importance of inner peace. According to the ancient manuscripts, Jesus even performed miracles during this period. The texts speak of healings and the calming of storms, similar to the miracles attributed to him later in his life. The teachings he encountered in India may have influenced the spiritual and philosophical aspects of his ministry. But the most fascinating part of the Ethiopian texts is the revelation that Jesus returned to the Holy Land with a deep understanding of spiritual enlightenment. This understanding, derived from Eastern teachings, would eventually manifest in his radical new approach to spirituality and the divine. The connection between the East and West, an overlooked link. The idea of Jesus traveling to India isn't entirely new. Some researchers have long speculated that Jesus may have visited the East during his lost years. This theory is supported by several historical accounts and traditions, many of which suggest that there was a deeper connection between the Eastern and Western spiritual traditions in antiquity. For example, the Silk Road, the ancient trade route that connected the East to the West, was in full operation during Jesus' time. It's entirely possible that Jesus traveled along this route, encountering Eastern philosophies and spiritual teachings along the way. There is even evidence of Jewish communities living in India during this period, particularly in the regions of Cochin and Kerala. The Ethiopian Bible's portrayal of Jesus' childhood doesn't just focus on his travels, though. It also provides a deeper spiritual insight into his divine nature. In the Book of the Childhood of Jesus, there is a moment where Jesus, as a child, reveals profound wisdom to his teachers. In one story, he heals a young boy who had fallen from a tree, and in another, he displays extraordinary knowledge of the universe and its workings. These stories highlight not just Jesus' miraculous powers but also his understanding of the nature of life, death, and the cosmos. In these texts, we see a picture of Jesus that is both human and divine. He is portrayed not just as a religious leader but as a wise sage, someone who had access to the deepest truths of the universe. The Ethiopian Bible provides a narrative of Jesus' life that is far richer and more complex than the limited account in the canonical Gospels. So, what does this all mean for our understanding of Jesus' missing years? The discovery of these ancient texts from Ethiopia offers a new perspective on the life of Christ. While the canonical Gospels may not provide us with a clear picture of Jesus' childhood and early years, the Ethiopian Bible fills in the blanks with a story that is both astonishing and enlightening. These texts suggest that Jesus' early life was far from ordinary. He was not just the son of a carpenter, he was a spiritual traveler, a seeker of wisdom, and a teacher long before he began his ministry. His time in India and the East likely shaped the teachings and miracles that would later define his ministry in the Holy Land. The truth about Jesus' missing years remains a mystery, but the ancient Ethiopian Bible offers a fascinating glimpse into this unknown period of his life. Through its teachings, we see Jesus not just as a religious figure but as a universal teacher, someone who sought wisdom from all corners of the earth. This revelation challenges our traditional understanding of Jesus' life and opens up new possibilities for how we view his spiritual journey. Whether or not you subscribe to these ancient accounts, they serve as a reminder that history is full of mysteries yet to be uncovered. The missing years of Jesus may just hold the key to unlocking some of these secrets.